So, David, I've sent you a request to come live. If you just click that, accept that. There we go.
Hey,
David,
sorry.
how are you?
Fine, you?
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to do this with you.
No problem.
So, for everybody watching, I've told people about you all week. This is David Kostelecky here, Olympic champion, European champion, record holder, European junior champion, Tokyo quota placed already. We've got lots of bits and pieces to go over.
Old man, already old man. So.
I think you're 3 years older than me. I think I looked today. I think it's
45. I just
yeah, I'm 42. Yeah.
Okay, lucky.
So first off, thank you so much. It's quite easy to go through everything quite quickly, but I really want to try and break everything down and give people a real insight into the real David, because as we spoke today, you've been so successful in shooting. I know you like to play it down, and there's people that have done this, but to many people, you're a hero. And the things that we have in common is that shooting hasn't always been at the forefront of your mind.
Correct. Yes, when I was starting here in Czech Republic, it was right after the revolution, and actually 14 years I have lived in communist time. And when I started to shoot, everything was broken, the system and everything.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really wanted to rely on shooting only. And that time for me, the most motivation was to have better service in the army, because it was duty to go to the army.
Yeah.
At the end, I didn't go, but with the shooting it was more easy, because you could get in the army club, and the service was more easy. So, and then I realized when I was 20 years old, winning the world championship as a junior, that maybe I could go to Olympics, which would be good experience. But also on the other hand, I saw many people here. They were dedicating all their life for shooting, and after the career they finished, and they really didn't know what to do. They could only shoot. So I said, David, this is not the way. So I tried to go to university. I have spent 1 day at the university. First lesson I got in, I passed the exams, everything. I went there for first day, and sitting in the class, I said, David, this is not for you. So I left. And then I said, what to do, So I continued in shooting, because when I was 21, I went to Atlanta Olympic Games, which was huge for me, in that age. But then I said myself, I have to make also some business. So I started to do some business with the friends, and really, I think it was my biggest advantage in shooting, because I didn't rely only on shooting, and I wanted to do also something else. I think I could have also ups and downs because of this.
Yeah.
But at the end, I'm very happy that I did it this way. I'm not saying it's perfect way, but when I was not successful in shooting, I could earn, some money somewhere else. Yeah. And it was like this, Then I had a periods where I was successful at both, sides. So this was the story of me. So.
You have a love of other sports, don't you? You have a love for tennis, ice hockey.
Yeah, I like to play tennis, but now my knees are very bad, so I hardly can keep with my sons. And, I used to play ice hockey, but was a little bit dangerous, so I quit. I like to play squash. Squash is fantastic for our shooting. The sport is fantastic. Table tennis is great also. And I started to play golf, but then I didn't have the time, so I'm paying the fees every year, and I haven't been there for 3 years, so they are laughing at me there. But one day, maybe, one day.
But is it? I think it was Russell was telling me today that you have a beautiful shooting ground, I believe, as well.
My grandfather was a big hunter, and with the hunting society, they built a ranch in 1955, and the ranch is like 1 kilometer away from my home. So if I want to shoot, I can go there in 15 minutes. I can shoot, and so we still have the ranch now under the army, because it was difficult. How houses are growing around, so everything. but still we have the range of, I can say, of my grandfather. So it's fantastic area. Everything is green, and I did all my practice there basically. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's get into your career. So you said at 20 years old you became junior world champion, and that was almost the stepping stone that gave you the confidence to reach out in your career.
Yeah, when I won it, I said myself, okay, let's go next year for the Olympic Games. Maybe I qualify. So I continue, and then when I saw the Olympic Games, I wanted to win it. It was my dream. So, and I didn't shoot well there. I shot 118. Michael winning with 124.25. So I saw the final live, and it gives me motivation to continue. And I think if I wouldn't go for Atlanta, I wouldn't shoot,
Really?
I think I would stop, and do something else, and maybe shooting would be only hobby, here in Czech.
Yeah.
So, but the experience was big, and, in the age of 21, was great. So then I continue, and next Olympic Games, I was in the final. So it was great experience with Michael, winning by 5 targets, Then in Athens, I didn't go, I watched at home because I couldn't qualify, the shooting was not good at the time, and Beijing was already good for me. So
let's talk about Beijing, because that's what everybody wants to talk about. David Kostelecky, Olympic champion. I've watched the final all day today, taking my notes, and it's so interesting to watch you shoot there. You look so calm. You look so prepared. There was let's talk about the conditions of the final.
Okay, all the week I was praying. I was wishing that we don't have a rain, because I'm using the prescription glasses that time, and I said, if the rain is there with all the humidity, because the glasses went foggy, all the time. So I said, without this, with this, it will be difficult for me. The moment I walked out of the building, when we had like the tent and, started to rain. So I said, fantastic, David. This is your time. But in Beijing, I felt very ready, because Athens, I watched at home, and I saw Alexei winning the games, and I said, David, next 4 years, you will do everything for the games, you have to prepare, no matter what happens. If you don't succeed there, okay, but you have to have in your mind that you are ready and you did all. So really, I was working very hard. I was, I think, physically ready that time, it was the highlight of my career, and the shooting was good. I won silver medal 1 month ago, before the games. Shooting 122 for 24 in the final, so the one shot was working very well, and it's a key, for us, because you can qualify. That period, you could guess who will be in the final, because it was almost the same names. Yeah. But the final made it all, so I felt very ready, and I really, 1 year before the games, I went sleep every day, 10 o'clock in the evening. I did a lot of fitness work, shooting. So when I sat in the plane and leaving to Beijing, I felt very calm, because I knew that I did maximum, If I didn't succeed,
You did everything in your power to be ready.
So I felt very good, because I said, okay, David, if you will be number 25, no problem, okay? Because I did maximum. What can I do, Because you need also luck. You need luck. You need to be lucky also a little bit.
But the weather conditions, it wasn't just raining. That was horrendous. It was brutal.
It was really funny. I don't normally shoot in the cap, but there I used the cap, to cover the glasses, and there was a small stripe not to have the humidity, the sweat on the glasses, so it was difficult. But to be honest, the final was, from the beginning, was good for me in terms that the others, they started to miss very early. And I don't know, by 10 targets, maybe I had already 3 targets difference. So it was more easy to continue, because...
But it was so different to watch today that I knew you'd won it, because that's why I was watching it. Mm-hmm. But as a studier of the form of shooting clays, if I didn't know you would win, I would have watched that and said you were going to win. You just look different. You look so different to everybody else. They were stood on, when they were on their pegs, they were caps, they were glasses, you just stood there, you had one hand on top of the other like this.
Yeah.
Boom. You just looked completely in control. It was beautiful to watch.
The feeling was I was controlling my mind very well. At that time I was working with a mental coach, lady. Look at me. Is it the same brand?
Yeah.
I got ready for you. I saw it, when you had the interview. So, and we were not working on the stuff, the normal stuff, what mental coaches are saying, you have to be positive. And I don't like it too much because I wore a lot of things when I was very negative, but we were working on, to improve the coordinations of shooting, we were improving my brain thinking, let's say, okay?
Yeah.
So I got a plan and I was following the plan like 1 year. And the final was, the feeling was like normal for me, because I was shooting very well before the games and I just felt very calm. I don't know, it was the final of my life. So let's say.
What a lot of people might not know here is that not only did you win it, but you shot the full 25. Single barrel 25-25, which is unbelievable anywhere. But in an Olympic final, I was Googling it today. It's unheard of.
I think it was my first final to shoot 25. After that, I did it. Yes. After that, I did it twice, but was not European Games. Maybe I shot because with the different rules, 27 targets, not missing. But that final was really, really special because if somebody would tell me before, I wouldn't believe. So I think it was a destiny. Was my day because I remember winning the quota places for Beijing. I had to shoot 25 at the last round of World Championships 2006, and when I look back, the feeling was the same. I shot 25 single barrels. I shot 120, and I got the quota places on 8th place. I think
Okay.
But I connected this. Later, and I said, it was a destiny because I shot the same rounds there and to qualify there, and then I shot it there. Was really, really a lot of strange things about it, and I think it was a destiny for me. All the games.
When you, as you hit your 20-second target, everybody else, I don't know if you did, but everybody else knew you'd won.
Yeah, I knew totally because it was strange because I was controlling my body very well, and my brain had his own game because I knew totally exactly how many targets is Giovanni Pelliello, how many targets is Michael. It was like a computer, but it didn't affect the performance. Yeah, it was strange. So I knew I had to hit 5 more, and you have the gold. Then I said this target is for bronze. To have sure bronze. Oh, great, okay. And then there was a right target on tag number 1. Really hard, 45, maybe it was a little bit more. And I set myself, because I got straight left, and I said, okay, last 2 rounds, I will get these right targets. And I said, I can miss it, and still I can win it. So it was strange, but I hit it. And then it was strange also when I hit the targets to have the gold medal. Exactly, there was a joy, everything, but after, 5 seconds, you have to shoot 25.
Another one, yeah.
This is the occasion, this is the occasion to shoot it, to win by 3 targets. It's not normal, in shooting. So
because it was also an Olympic record at the time, wasn't it? It was an Olympic record.
Yeah. This was, I think, because it was new rules and Giovanni Chernogoratz had the same result in London, I think, and then they changed the rules again. So.
But it was quite interesting to watch when the round had finished and you'd done your congratulations. You went straight to Mauro.
Yeah, because I knew he's there, and Mauro Perazzi is my key person in my career because he helped me a lot, and I wanted to share the moment because they gave a lot of trust in me and a lot of support. So without them, without Perazzi, I wouldn't be there. So. For me, Mauro is like family.
Yeah.
So I was very happy to share the moment with him.
And then Then the picture that I remember, I even though I've never been at the Olympics or anything like that, I like to study all forms of shooting, is the beautiful picture of you laying in the rain on the floor. You know, you just collapsed.
It was like relief, you know, because also for me was that time was a big pressure, because that time I didn't have a good relationship with my federation. Now it's different, okay, because it was run by different people, and there was like huge pressure from them. And I think if I wouldn't succeed there, maybe they would stop my shooting, or I would stop because I didn't like to play the games. So it was like relief, you know, because I knew that from the time I am free, you know, because there is a lot of talkings, you know better than me, you know, maybe because we have the same, the sporting or trap is the same. There is a lot of rumor, a lot of talkings. I don't like the games behind the scenes. And what I have learned, it's if you shoot one level higher than the others, you don't need to talk, you know. I mean, in Czech, for example, in Czech, okay, in the world is different, because the irony is, in the world you are getting the respect from the others. But in your own country, it's totally different, okay?
100%.
It's like 50-50, you know, in your own country, because there are people, they like you, and people, they hate you, because if you are successful, there is always a group of people, they always find something about, you know, if you are left, it's wrong. If you are right, it's wrong also. So it's better not to care and just shoot, because
and like you said, all you can do is use that those bad words to fuel a fire. To make you want to become better. And like you say, you reach the pinnacle, and nobody could ever take that away from you. There was a couple of things that were mentioned to me today. I hope this is okay for me to mention this.
No problem.
At the beginning of your career, you were a role model, Miroslav Bednarik, I believe.
Yes.
Can we talk about that? Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
So apparently unfortunately, he passed in 1989, I believe.
Yes.
From a motorbike. But you looked up to him, I believe.
Yes, I when I started to shoot, and I was coming to a range in Brno, I saw his shooting, and we were like young shooters, and we had to help when there was a competition. So I was there around, and he was fantastic. I don't remember really clearly, but I missed the opportunity to shoot with him, you know, because I think we could be in one team. And for me, he was the same like Michael Diamond for me, because winning the world championship, senior, with the junior age, you know, it's fantastic. And I think he was the same talent like Michael Diamond, and it would be really very good to watch them to shoot also against each other, and maybe to have him in the team, you know, would be fantastic. And I think we could learn a lot from him, you know, because probably he would be a coach and helping us maybe. So it's really pity that he passed away.
Yeah, and thank you for talking about that. I didn't that was sent to me in a message today. Let's take a little bit of a break and lower the tone a little bit. Let's talk about your equipment. We know you're Parazzi through and through. What cartridges, glass? I want to get onto that. Let's talk about cartridges first.
Okay. I'm using Cleaver Mirage, you know, from Italy, from 2006. Before that, we have to shoot Serier Velot, Czech company. There was an agreement with the federation, which I broke up. So there was a lot of mess around it. Before that, there was an agreement between federation and Beretta. So basically, if you wanted to be on team, you had to shoot Beretta. I broke it again. So you can imagine there was a lot of mess, you know, because when I got the offer from Mauro to shoot with all his service, which I didn't get there that time, okay, I don't want to speak bad about Beretta, okay, because I respect that the factory is, you know, 500 history. It's nothing bad, but that time, you know, was different, and probably I was nobody for them, so they didn't treat me so well. And with Mauro, I felt the chance to improve, because they helped me a lot. So I broke up these two contracts, and it was fantastic. But the cartridges, you know, all the cartridges from Italy are great.
Yes.
But I have a good relationship with the owner, with Alberto Chiampan from Italy, and we always stayed together, like with Mauro, because they helped me to reach the top.
So you stay with them, loyalty.
after Beijing, I got some offers also, better offers, everything. But I said, sorry, but I couldn't watch myself in the mirror if I go, somewhere. So.
And that's what I like about my career. All of the world championships that I have, one gun, one cartridge. I've never changed. Never changed. Right, I watched with you today the flashing glasses that you were advertising.
Okay.
Do they help you?
I think so. I was always excited about eyes in shooting because I think eyes are the trigger. Okay, so you need to control the eyes, and with these glasses, I think you have if you train with them a little bit, then you feel you have more time for the action.
Let me just explain to people what they are. So David's got these glasses that he puts on. He presses a button on them, and they go intermittent flashing. So they go visual, non-visual, visual, non-visual.
Yes.
And I saw you. You started by catching balls, and you can see the flashing going on. So you're trying, intermittent vision, and then you went to the range and you shot in them. So is that a bit like when you're doing running training and you're pulling a weight behind you? When you take the weight, you feel free.
Yes, exactly. Because there is less time for the brain to react.
Yeah.
So you let's say the brain is under the pressure to decide, and when you take it off, it's much better. I saw these glasses really by accident, and actually I met also the guy who invented it, the Japanese guys, and we spoke a lot about it, and he tried to explain me a lot of stuff, and I asked him also at the time who is using it, from the big names of the sport in the world. And he said, sorry, I cannot tell you because we have agreements.
Contracts.
Only what I can tell you, the Red Bull Formula 1 team is using it.
Okay.
So I think, you see a lot of people like, Federer and Michael Jordan. Okay, they are full talented, but I think they were using also special stuff to be better than the others, This is what I believe.
I agree with that. I think talent can get you so far, but there are definitely... And I've never really pushed away any gimmicks because I will always try them because you might just find one.
Yes.
That can, this actually can work here.
This is me, I like to try all the stuff.
Yeah, me too.
And I did a lot of mistakes, okay? But something was good also, so you can pick up some, stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
So I believe you have to try always to change things, to see if it's better or not, because some of the shooters are afraid to change.
Yeah.
Not me, I like to play,
Yeah, and like I say, I think that's the freedom of, like you say, having a life away from the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, you can trial things in this area, and that's always been me with the rugby and everything else.
This is what I like, yeah.
Yeah, it makes me stronger as an athlete because when I go into a shoot-off situation, this guy has got this dream, this goal, and it's never been different.
Yeah.
And I can stay in this lane because, okay, yes, I want to win as much as you, but I can stay loose because it's not everything.
Exactly. This is my shooting life. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When I watched you shoot today, I love picking apart techniques. I love it. As a coach, as an instructor, I love picking apart. Now, if you take the top 20 sporting shooters, 70% to 80% would all be the same.
Okay.
When I watch the Olympic trap shooters, there is nothing similar about anybody.
Yes.
Everybody is different. You've got your beautiful, calm style. You've got Michael's aggressive style. Yeah. You've got Alberto Fernandez that just does something I've never seen before in my life at any. But one thing I noticed about you that I didn't see in other shooters, you've got a very powerful body move to the target, if that makes sense. It's not very... It almost looks like a tennis serve. It's from a rotation in the core. Yeah. Is that something you worked on? Because I watched it again and again and again, and I didn't see it in other shooters. They're more shoulders and rotation. Yours was just very, very powerful.
When I was young, we had one coach. He was originally from Italy, and he pushed us from beginning to shoot fast. You have to shoot fast. And actually, I learned a lot of bad habits. So my shooting was never really smooth, okay? but I could live on with it. And when I was lucky and had my day, I could control it a little bit. And when I'm seeing my old finals, sometimes I say, "Oh my God, this is very rough, shooting."
Yeah, yeah.
But I was using like my mind to shoot the target, and I didn't care too much about the body, about the technique. But with my age, I try to change a little bit because let's say now 45, it's totally different when I was 25. So I have to adjust all my technique to the age. And I think it's the key. If you want to shoot a long time, you need to change things. You need to change equipment a little bit. You need to change, your technique to be still able to shoot with the young shooters and sometimes, maybe win some medals. So I know about you. You are totally correct because if you see, for example, Giovanni Pelliello, it's so you're totally correct. Yeah.
No, I thought it was very nice to watch it. A very powerful yet controlled turn. And let's go back to Johnny Pelliello there. When you won the Olympic Games, that was an all-star final. If you were going to win one and you wanted everybody there to be beat, you had everybody in that final.
That's correct.
No one's ever going to turn around to you and say, you won that because he wasn't here. That was an all-star final. That was the who's who of Olympic trench.
Yeah, if I see the final again, I'm saying myself I was very lucky because all the guys from this era, last 20 years were there, and maybe they were fighting, a little bit between themselves, and I was there, to be the fair one who took the gold, I was using maybe the advantage a little bit, not to have so much pressure like them. But Giovanni Pelliello, Michael, Alexei, these are as we wrote the messages, they are like Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, So, and I am like Stan Wawrinka, as I told you, sometimes I was able to beat them, so to win the Grand Slam, but they won many times over me, 100 times more than I over them. So.
But Johnny never won the Olympics.
You remember we have a good tennis player here in past. Ivan Lendl was the name.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, the coach.
He was fantastic. He never won Wimbledon.
Yeah.
This is the same story.
Yeah.
I have never won the world championship. So I think everybody has some competition, maybe.
Yeah, so, definitely. You have that black hat that you just can't break.
But I think for Giovanni, just to feel like him. I think this is a motivation which still runs him, for the gold, So maybe if he would win, I don't know, in Sydney, maybe he wouldn't shoot now or something. Maybe it's good for him, I mean it in a good way, So
yeah, no, I fully understand that. Sometimes you need, and I say this all the time, and it'd be interesting to get your thoughts on this. That my thoughts in my shooting and my students, and I spoke about it yesterday, I believe. Is I always have three goals in my career. I have a goal that's short term, a goal that's medium, and one that's almost out of reach, because that's what I'm going to strive for.
Yes.
And I think that Olympic gold is Johnny's. That's his strive. That's his.
Sure.
That's why I get up out. That's why I get out of bed. I'm
sure about it. Yeah, because in Rio, I remember after London, everybody said in Italy, he's dead, he's too old and everything. And then he came to Rio winning the silver. So as you said, you were watching all the styles in trap. I learned one thing in trap. There is only one rule. There are no rules.
Yeah,
and I think, this guy, he won everything. And I wouldn't never say, he will not win anymore or something, because this guy did everything. So he can win also in 60, Then he will be 60. So
then you said like you waited almost 20 years to win World Cup event.
Yeah.
And then you go and win two in a row, and I watched the final in Ally in today. How did that? What changed? How did you, like a fine wine, you get better with age?
I think I was because I got some medals at the World Cups, but I was missing to win. And I remember in a line I wasn't shooting good the practice, and I changed something with the mounting in the last round of the practice, and I shot good. And I said, okay, I will do it in competitions, which was a little bit risky, but at the end I shot 123. And then when I look back, I think I'm doing this also on purpose, you know, to have the fire for the competition, because if you are there all the time, and I need to change sometimes, you know. So, but the line was difficult because I shot 123, Giovanni I think 124, you know, a lot of good names in the final, was very windy, but this was the only change, and you know, with the style, with a little bit with the mounting, but I think I got lucky at the end, you know, only.
And one thing I learned during these lessons is Michael Diamond said something that I'm never going to forget. And he said, there are no accidental champions. You can't get lucky. That barrel starts here, you look here, you call pull, that goes there, and you've got to send them pellets to it. There's no luck involved. You can't get lucky. They don't blow. They don't.
Yeah. So I think this was only my day, you know, because
it's great to see though. Your career has been so long. You know, that's a 25-year career at the top of it, at the top level. There's not many sports where you can be at the top for 25 years.
That's true. But the question is if it is advantage or disadvantage. Because, okay, you know, with the fitness, you can still go on in shooting if you work a little bit. It's, you know, it's better to be fit for sure, because you're traveling, you know, there is a 3 days competition, hot weather, stuff like this. But the mind gets, you know, tired. But, you know, the shooting is not problem. But all the policy, you know, behind the federations and the stuff, this is what makes me tired, you know, and something also with ISSF, sometimes the rules and, you know, stuff like this. So this is the only problem, I think, because then you can continue another 20 years. You know.
What's the plan for Tokyo?
If there will be Tokyo, because I'm not sure about it. But frankly speaking, I think the chance is 50-50.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you know, this year I started very well. I shot. I won Grand Prix in Kuwait and became third in Qatar. And I felt I was shooting good. So when they said there is no Tokyo, I said okay. 1 more year, it's not big problem for me. If for 45 or 46 years old, it's not problem. But I will I will try to get better, you know, because still I am learning. I think the shooting is never-ending process, because I have never met a guy winning 3 competitions in a row with 125, you know, the total score. So I think I can still improve. I can feel that there is still space to improve and to learn something about it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get into the mindset, because I know you're big on the mindset. People love to talk pre-shot routines and the mental game. So I've not asked this question yet. In your pre-shot routine or your mental state, how much of it is natural and how much of it is manufactured? How much do you have to put there and how much is already there?
So there is there are 2 things. I have to be sure that my mounting and my standing is correct. This is what I have to be sure, and this is you can easily practice it.
Yeah.
But the moment I close the gun, I try to not to think. I try to not to control, because I'm using the plan which I try to import in my head.
Yeah.
Because my brain is working like this. If I have some extra idea in my brain or extra control of something, I'm losing the reaction and I'm losing the targets and I don't shoot well. So basically I'm trying to shoot with very instinctive way of shooting, you know.
So you're sort of manufactured until the gun closes.
Yes.
And then the naturalness takes over.
Yes, because there is like the time is like 0.5, 0.6, and I don't think that there is a space for thinking. So you have to just trust your technique, and then you need to have sorry to say balls. To make it, because the shooting is living on the edge. You go there or you go there.
There's a great question from Larry there. If you feel like you are getting tension, how do you have a way of I've got to relax my shoulders, I've got to get back. How do you do that?
Okay, I'm trying to use the breathing, but nothing special, just to use the deep breathing. And if I feel that I am in big tension, I can push my muscles and relax them immediately, but nothing special. I don't think there is a special secret for it,
I think that's so individual, isn't it? So individual.
Yeah, and also I think you need to learn to shoot with this stuff also, because we are getting in these situations, so we have to just to live with it,
So I wrote down a question here, and I didn't know if I was going to ask it or not, but having listened to you, I'm going to ask it. If you can, take me back to the last, from target 17 to 22 at the Olympic Games, your mindset. As you said earlier, you knew this one was for bronze. You knew this one. So I'm a very big believer. You cannot unknow what you already know. You can stand there and say, right, this is for Olympic gold. You can't not know that. You've got to be able.
I knew everything. Really, the brain was like computer.
Talk me through it. Your mindset, because your heart rate must be going up at this time. You must start to feel differently. These are now. You've probably shot 1 million clays in your lifetime. You're now faced with the most 5 important clay pigeons in the world ever, and you're in charge of them.
As you said it now, my heart rate went up because the memories are still there, So all the mental coaches tell you have to be positive, don't think about it's not possible not to think about it, because believe me, I said myself, David, this is the chance of your life. You have 5 targets to go for gold. If you fuck it up, you are stupid. Sorry to say. Really. And I will say, what are you thinking about, now? Concentrate, And then I have like my routine, and I try to use the breathing and everything. But believe me, I knew, okay, I have 3 targets on Joan, 3 targets on this. And the brain was just working his way, and the body was working the other way,
Yeah, they fight against. They're like this.
Yes.
You want to relax and it goes tight. You want to relax and it goes tight.
It's not possible not to think about it.
No, wait. I'm so happy you said that. I am so happy.
It's not possible. And I was working hard for these moments, and sometimes people are afraid of this moment when they get there, but which is very stupid because we work for this moment.
Yeah.
So you have to try to enjoy it, So
I remember when I went to my first World Championship, I lost the World Championship. I had to shoot 23 to win the World Championship, and I shot 21. I just completely froze. Nothing was smooth, and I was like, right. I lost that because I knew I needed to do it. The next time, the year after, it was the very next year, I now have to shoot 25 out of 25 to win it. I'm like, I'm doing it again. And that's when I realized I'm never going to not have this feeling. I'm going to have to learn to manage this feeling.
Yes, exactly.
And these people that say, don't think about it. No, it's impossible.
It's not possible. And I tell you, I have the same experience because in Sydney Olympic Games 2000, I entered the final like number 3. And I think from the beginning, I have 1 target, on number 4.
Yeah.
And I was young, 25 years old, 26, So the ego was higher than now, And I remember I smashed first 7 targets. And I was walking from station 5 to 1. And I said myself, David, you're going to do it now. I came there, bam, bam, 0, left target. Number 2, bam, bam, 0, and I said myself, okay, then you can go home, you know. And I was number 6 at the end, you know.
Yeah.
So I said myself, and in Beijing was exactly the same situation. Was a little bit better because from the beginning, as I said, the guys were okay. Moment, I will try. Okay, now better. I had some targets extra, so it was more easy maybe to manage it. And with the free targets behind your back, you know, it's maybe more easy to control. But the mind was there. There was a lot of thoughts, you know, because I knew my family is watching, you know, my mother is watching, my father is watching. All the ideas are there, you know, all the thinking. But then, when I closed the gun, there was nothing. So this was the.
That's what you trained for.
Yes.
So you hit the target. We've now definitely got a bronze. That's got to be a great feeling. Then we hit the next target. Now we've got a silver. That next target can't have been the same.
No. When I'm seeing the final, because my older son is 9 years old and he wanted to see the final, so I watched it after a long time. I saw that my hands were shaking, you know, a lot. I didn't know what target is going, but the feeling was I will hit it, you know. I was really sure that I will hit it. So,
I mean, I've been so lucky doing these interviews. I've spoke to three people that have gone through that experience of breaking the target for the gold medal. It's crazy how humble all of you still are and come and talk to everyday people about it. I find it fascinating, really. But we're moving on, and some of the questions we've got left here. A question came in from Paul. You've been quite big in the movement of paratrap in Czech Republic.
Yeah, I think 2 years ago or 1 year ago, no, 2 years ago, they came to me, or 3 years ago. 2-3 people, they came to me that they want to start to shoot. So I try to help them as much as I can. My problem is the time, but I think we find the way how to manage the things. Still, if I am able to come to their practice, I'm going there.
Yeah.
And I was trying also to shoot on wheelchair, you know, to see how it's working and stuff like that.
That's how I do it.
And it's quite challenging because, you know, they are dealing with other problems.
Yep.
You know, because if you don't have one hand, and then, you know, I was trying to shoot like this, then we were trying to balance the gun. So I like it very much because it's really, really quite challenging.
Mentally challenging
too.
Yeah. Question that always wants the Olympic trap shooters want to know: where do you hold and where are your eyes?
Okay. As I said, I am changing a lot this, okay? I think I tried all the techniques in the world. And actually I am changing it also, depends on the range, depends on the conditions, but there are no secrets in it also, okay? You can put your barrels up looking down, you can put the barrels down looking up, but I think the most common method, you know, to look over the barrel, it's the best. But and I believe also that each shooter has different vision systems. So
100%.
What is working for me, it's not working for him.
Yeah. And reaction times.
You see it with the lenses, you know, I can use this color, he cannot use it.
Yeah.
So basically, now I'm holding my gun up because I'm old and I want smaller movement, you know, to the target. So I'm trying to use the peripheral vision a lot, you know, and trying really for small movement only. But I believe, and watching last 5 years, if you see Josip Glasnovic, Giovanni Pelliot, they are not too much up with the guns and they look a little bit above, you know. The distance you have to choose, always try which is the best for you. If it is 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, you have to try, and that's it, you know, basic, you know.
What, who would be, you can handpick a 6-man final, who would be in your 5? Who would be with you?
Okay. I will go through history, okay, a little bit. First name, Ennio Mattarelli.
Yep.
you know, 1964 Olympic winner,
Yep.
you know. I know him, very good guy, you know, I like him. Then the Miroslav Break for sure, because I didn't have a chance to shoot with him.
Shoot with him, yep.
Then when I was young, you know, I was meeting a lot of time Marco Venturini from Italy.
Yes, yep.
Fantastic guy, I like him much.
So he shot the Beretta SO, I think, didn't he?
Yes. And then Giovanni Pelliello, Michael Diamond.
Perfect. That'd be a hell of a squad to watch too.
Then the squad is 6 men, but I have to mention Josh Lakatos also.
Yeah.
Great guy from USA.
I know Josh very well.
And it would be fair to say Alexei Alipov also.
Yeah.
You know, but with him would be difficult because it would be long final because he's all the time protesting. So
I noticed that. Lots.
We would make him a referee. Would be better, okay?
I did notice that. I did notice it.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. What would you change about the sport? I know you're ISSF, and I know the history. We don't need to go into that. But what would you change about the sport now? What would you like to see changed?
Definitely, they have to do something with the media. I mean, we are not on TV, which is very bad. Now they did some agreement with Eurosport, I think, but the way they are doing the finals now, I think they need to change because there are no statistics, you know. Something which is very good to see in tennis, rugby, football. You know, imagine if they would collect statistics in past 20 years and they would say, David, he's missing 20% in last 5 targets. You know, David is missing 40% of left targets. Imagine this, he's using, you know, 50% of second shots or something. So this would be interesting, you know, the reaction time. There is a lot of things we could do, and it would be fantastic to watch it live, you know, because in Czech, we made a special competition with Michael, Giovanni. It was like show, you know, a little bit.
Okay.
We put it on TV, on Czech Sport TV, and we got the same numbers like Champions League in soccer, you know.
Really?
There is a lot of hunters, a lot of pistol shooters, a lot of bow shooters. Everybody likes to watch the shooting. So this would be great if they would continue, you know, with something like this.
Collect the data and let people see what's coming out. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Certainly interesting to see because there's no reason you couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think it would be easy also.
We've only got 5 minutes to go. What makes your single barrel final? What makes you so good? Your single barrel final is good. Like Michael Diamond. Michael Diamond said his single barrel was terrible. He had to work hard at it. Your single barrel is very, very good. Why?
Okay, I don't have the same feeling because I have a lot of 4th places, a lot of 5th places. In my career, I didn't shoot. I think I shot a lot of bad finals. So actually, I don't think my first shot is good. When I'm in shape, I trust myself and it's good, okay? But I don't think I am the specialist for single barrel. Don't think so.
The finals I watched today, they were certainly...
Yeah, few of them, you know, but if I remember the others, you know, so I don't think so.
I think that's all of the questions, apart from one very technical question. I'm going to try and ask it correctly. When you are shooting a range with a ramp in the background from the lid, does this change how you shoot?
No, I don't think so. No.
That came in from an Olympic trap shooter. If the ramp at the back, so sometimes I understand the lid's like this, and it's sometimes
yes.
And you see the concrete trap coming out.
Difficult to explain, but it depends also on which machines we are shooting, on what targets, light conditions. Because if the light goes down, you have to change also the position for eyes, or I am doing it also. So it's very, very difficult to answer.
Well, that was an amazing hour. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You did great job with all the interviews. I like it, you know. It's fantastic to see also the other shooters.
It's just great to see how humble you all are, and you know, to sit in to interview somebody. Where do you keep your gold medal?
Phew. Right now, I think I have it in my safe room, but normally I have it in the bank, in a special.
I was going to say,
Yes.
They're serious.
I did some company parties for somebody, so I had to take it with me. And
yeah. No, David, thank you so much for coming
Thank you.
on. What's your favorite cigar?
Whatever. No, okay, the big ones, like.
Yeah, I've just got a load. I've just had a big delivery. Of Moyers and Romeo and Juliet.
Okay. These are great, but also, we are smoking cigars from Italy called Toscanello. They are like small. Sorry, the light. Okay, they are like smaller with fantastic taste. You have it done in 20 minutes, so you should try those. I can send you some. Okay.
Well, hopefully one day we get to have a cigar together.
I hope. Because believe me or not, my plan was after the career to shoot sporting, just for fun,
One of my favorite world championships was in Czech at the Konopis Castle.
Yeah, nice range. So I hope maybe one day.
So I hope you stay safe during all of this COVID. And
thank you.
Very good. If Tokyo does go ahead, good luck, and go get us another gold and we'll interview you again.
Thank you very much.
Stay safe. Take care.
Okay, take care then. Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao. Bye-bye.
So, a brilliant interview. What a great guy that is. It's an honor for me to interview a Olympic gold medalist that I've never met. I've never met him. We hadn't spoken. That's the first time we've spoken and conversed properly, apart from text messages. So, we've got another interview tomorrow night, 7 p.m. with Simon Reinhold, one of the head of BASC, and also